Hello everyone, this is a State of Art and this is going to be kinda different video, not my PvP gameplay or something. This will be just my thoughts about what survival hunters. There were a few questions to me about what survival hunters are and how do you actually build them, and I'm just recording this one right now and don't have any script about it, so basically the quality of this video is not going to be a really great one. I'm just going to do my emissaries and talk about the class and what I think about it. So, if you wonder who I am, I'm a Horde Ravencrest player, 1.8 rating and best in 2v2 and best 3v3 is 1720. Yeah, so I'm kinda mediocre, not the strongest player on the arena and on PvP, and I spent a lot of time playing survival since I started, like every single day, 16 hours playing survival for like almost 2 months now, and I wasn't unable to play, but yeah, well, that's off topic. So basically I will send, or I will post the time codes for this video so you can basically go and skip to the point where it's interesting for you. Oh, sorry about that voice crack though. And let's begin about how survival feels. Well, basically survival feels like what's a difference between Retribution Paladin for me and Arms Warrior, with kinda different tools and the stuff there. So survival has a really cool utility with his traps and the pet utility in terms of Roar of Sacrifice, stings, which are mostly PvP. For PvE he has high sustain damage, and well, he kinda have burst, but not really a big burst though. He's kinda more of sustained damage dealer. Okay, so all of his damage source comes from what? Mongoose Bite, Lacerate Bleeds, and Flanking Strike. Other spells are kinda supportish, something like this. And well, and basically I'm just going to run through PvP and PvE builds. Well, I'm mostly using for PvE builds. The best one for me, what I think actually, is Animal Instincts, which is actually really good. If you randomly get a Flanking Strike proc to be reset cooldown by 2.5 sec, you can have a really strong burst, and well, most of your damage is single target, though you can do good amounts of AoE damage with Carve, Explosive Trap, and fully stacked with 6 stacks of Mongoose Bite, Fury of the Eagle. But I'm talking monotonely and it's not really exciting to listen. So okay, well, let's see the amount of DPS I can do for a single target as a basically the best thing you can do is to apply all your dots and to always watch for them. And he even popped me. I guess I will use just my heal, and that's it. 3:45 before it stopped a combat. It was 345,000 damage, which is a nice burst for my rubbish item level. The amount of item levels I have is boosted by those fucking boots, this relic, I mean legendary, and my weapon, of course. All other shit is really bad and undergeared, and I don't have perfect stats. But still nice amounts of damage. Sustained DPS on a single target is around 250k for me, but that's not a matter. So the rotation, obviously you open with Harpoon, you instantly apply Lack Rate, then going for Explosive Trap, and then for Raptor Strike. And why Raptor Strike? Because you have this talent, Serpent Sting. Oh shit, I have to run because mini bosses respawned. So Animal Instincts is the one to go. It's really great one. Throwing Axis is a PvP choice, and Way of Moknatal is underwhelming to use, requires you to spend a lot of focus and you won't have it to keep other of your abilities up. Level 30 is a Murder of Crows, kinda alright, but not really for PvE. Snake Hunter at another point is really good for quick bursty fights where you just burst down the boss, and it's a DPS race. Mortal Ones is the best choice for prolonged fights, because every time your Lack Rate deals damage you have a 2% chance to get a stack of Mongoose Bite, and Mongoose Bite is your primary damaging ability, and yeah. So those are first two you get, and the next one for PvE I like Post Haste, because after you use your Harpoon it also removes the impairing effects from you and gives you a movement speed, but you can also pick the Trailblazer, yeah, which gives you a movement speed increase if you haven't stacked for 3 seconds. So if you gotta run somewhere you might as well do it with Trailblazer. And Far Strider is kinda underwhelming in my opinion. And Steel Trap is inferior compared to Improved Trap, because Improved Traps, it reduces the cooldown of Explosive Trap by 50%, and that's every 12 seconds. Well, basically it's a rotation based one. And Steel Trap, you already have kinda complicated rotation, you don't want to make it way more complicated than that. It's already enough to keep up 1, 2, 3 dots, even 4, but we'll come to that later. Caltrops on the other side, I've tested it a lot. It's not that great. Even not Improved Trap with 24 seconds cooldown, I would DPS the full Caltrops on not moving boss, which is always standing in them. They're like 50% of the damage that Explosive Trap do. Level 75 talents are not a really big thing. They are mostly defensive, so I take Camouflage so I can sneak somewhere around. And all my guild chats, I forgot to hide that. Level 90 Butchery. You don't want to focus on spending stacks on this one. There is a Serpent Sting, which is a superior choice. to butchery because, well, nature damage, it applied by the Raptor Strike and Carve, so you can spread your dots. Meanwhile, Dragon's Fire Grenade is a PvP choice, it's awesome choice. And Spitting Cobra, I mean level 100 talents are what? Spitting Cobra is complete piece of shit. It's like, come on, the damage it does is really low and the amount of extra focus it gives you not that big. Expert Trapper, again, it's a more PvP talent than a PvE, and here we come for Aspect of the Beast, which is the best choice for us in PvE because it's additional bleed for 6 seconds and you are going to use Ferocity Pet, not Cunning, Ferocity for passive damage, combat experience, auto revival, because your pet may die in PvE, and because your pet is Ferocity you apply additional bleed for 6 seconds and your flanking strike is available every 5 seconds. And by the way, stats which are you going with are mostly haste and critical strike. I have focus on critical strike more than haste, but if I will go PvE more than PvP, I will do other way around, haste before critical, and you also consider getting a lot of versatility. And you don't need mastery. Mastery is not that stat that you want to go for. For artifact. For artifact you go the left side to pick up the aspect of Skylord, which is a complete beast. Like, wow, 30% increase deal for the duration of the aspect of an eagle. It's a really great boost. Although you get increase for cleave, for Raptor Cry, for your traps, for cooldown of your traps, and damage by your Lucky Rates. And then you come to Eagle's Bite, which is kinda okay. You see in my let's find out Captain Razorclaw damage. You see Mongoose Bite, Brutal Haymaker is my trinket, you may as well not count that one. And Flanking Strike by my pet and by me, Lacerate, Explosive Trap, Raptor Strike, Auto Attacks, Talent Strike is another golden talent you may consider. And you see on the trail, of course it wasn't a really long fight, so on the trail couldn't stack and deal damage, but yeah, something like this. Well, then you go for Flurry all the way down here and here, and you end up in the Sharpened Fang. The last two you get is Terms of Engagement and Hunter's Bounty. Those are the least useful talents you may get. Yeah, that was a quick fight. Well, whatever. And for PvP, I might as well go for a safe zone so I can switch, and I will get back here after all. So yeah, Survival Hunter is really awesome partner saver with a frozen trap, a slow roots distance slow, which will be spoken about now. So PvP build which I prefer is actually Throwing Axes, Murder of Crows, we keep Post Haste, we pick Caltrops, we pick Ranger's Net because you don't need the camouflage in PvP. In my opinion, you don't need that because there is a perfect choice for distant roots and slow with a 40-yard range. This is really awesome for helping. Dragon's Fire Grenade for burst, and Expert Trapper for all the good things. So Expert Trapper, at first let's speak about it. It will increase the amount of damage of burst damage which will Explosive Trap deal, which is awesome. Then it will make enemy be slowed after the effect of freezing trap expire. Uh, the awesome thing about that is also that caltrops will have increased damage, so people stepping on the caltrops will take a lot of damage. Then level 90, Dragon's Fire Granite, immense amounts of burst, like whoa. I always underestimated it before I got into the higher rating, and then I realized how much damage it does. And for honor talents, well, I mostly take Gladiator's Medallion, Reinforced Armor for health. If it's a melee, I get Cat-like reflexes, obviously, for dodge, survival tactics against casters, heavy dot team, I get this one, yeah, obviously less damage from dots. Then 3 stings. If I want to play on a healer and it's something like druids, yeah, mostly against druid I take the Viper Sting because it will reduce all the healing until the target casts non-instant heal, which is awesome. Against melee I get Scorpion Sting, so they can't crit, on top of Roar of Sacrifice, which I have on another pet, and another pet is the Cunning pet, which has this one, and it's a Grievous Wounds pet, so it applies the healing reduction. Spider Sting, obviously against casters. The pre-last 3 talents, I think that Mending Bandage is completely superior choice for most scenarios, except when you against a mage where you must get Master's Call. And for 2v2s I prefer getting Diamond Dice above Sticky Tar or Tracker's Net. Tracker's Net can be of use, but Sticky Tar, kinda And for PvP rotation, well, you always keep your dots up, and PvP dots are Explosive Trap and Lucky Rate, and always throw your Dragon's Fire Granite. Yeah, and Harpoon on the trail, obviously. So, well, something like this. After you thrown a trap, you throw a caltrops, and then go this. If you are out of resources, you can throw axes, then get back. If you feel like throwing something like Fury of an Eagle, which is actually kinda inferior for PvE because it's channeling, and that's complete bullshit. Channeling spell for PvE is mostly useless because it's going to be interrupted by a lot of things. So for PvP the most important parts are those those 2 key talents or artifact talents, whatever, for reduced traps and Embrace of Aspects. Embrace of Aspects will give you additional survivability because it will reduce the time where your turtle is available, and your Hunter's Guile will give you the edge on offensive capability. So yeah, something like this. And if you want to see how actually it goes in the PvP with this setup, go for my other PvP videos I have on my channel. And by the way, I forgot to say, there is a option to have a Snake Hunter, which is actually a good one if you want to burst someone down. The amount of burst Snake Hunter can do, almost killable, I mean deadly, and someone cannot expect that much damage from Survival Hunter. And don't forget, your first priority in PvP is spending all stacks of Mongoose Bite, and always have your Flanking Strike on the cooldown. Before before that, you always have to keep those two dots up. Your explosive trap and your lucky rate. And don't forget to throw your caltrops. Yeah. Something like this. There is a lot of speech, a lot of information. Not that a lot. Not that big of an amount of information, but still. You get me. Yeah. And for future of survivals, 7.15 patch. This will be removed. Improved traps. Way of Moknats are going to be buffed. The cooldowns on the traps will be increased. I think they also added some of PvP talents. I don't really remember. And yeah, that's all the changes, but 7.15 patch is going to be a dark time for survival hunters, and we have to embrace it, and we have to fight through while we can, while we are strong. So yeah, pretty much that's all what I wanted to throw in, and thanks everyone for watching. You may as well throw a like or dislike, obviously, if you happen to like this video, or dislike otherwise. And yeah, stay tuned and take care. Bye.